Hey, this is Alan Hunter, one of those original MTV VJs. Glad to be here on Beats and Eats. Where are my eats, by the way?
Live from our studios, somewhere in cyberspace, it's Beats and Eats, a happy hour for your mind. The virtual lounge is open, so come inside, grab a stool, and your drink of choice. Make mine a Guinness. And now, here are your hosts, Ty Ray and Nick Gelso.
The virtual lounge is open. Ty Ray, Nick Gelso, and another edition of Beats and Eats. And Nick, we got somebody spinning tunes today. This is a first for us. We've never had a DJ, a star DJ, on Beats and Eats.
Scott Mitchell, he
our bartender.
Yeah, he would prefer to put a coin in the old, jukebox where it actually spins the record. You got to push the button in. That's what we got over there in the corner. It's all stained with nicotine.
Yeah. Do you remember those old cigarette vending machines? That's what that reminds me of. And when's the last time you've seen one of those?
Actually, they're still here quite a bit. They just have to be.
Is that right?
Yeah, they'll be out in the foyer of the bar. And, the thing is, it's a moneymaker for the bar owner. I know when I had the restaurant, that would bring in good money. But the funny thing is, my business partner and I were the biggest customer of the machine. If you think about it, at that time, cigarettes were $3-something, I think, maybe $4, and you got 50% back, so you were only paying $2 a pack. So, we get all this money back at the end of the month. We're really making money on this machine. Not really. You're just saving money versus what you would have paid in the mini market.
Yeah, you put it back in, right?
Put it back in. Oh, yeah.
So what's a pack of cigarettes go in for in PA right now, where you live?
Oh, Lord. I'm actually so cheap when it comes to cigarettes that I rotate. So I'll go with, let me look at what I'm smoking now.
No, Nick, you're rolling your own now, right?
I'm rolling. A lot of people do it, Ty. A lot of people do it. But anyway, there's this blue pack. I can't even remember. It's so cheap it doesn't have a name. I can't even remember the name of it. I have to actually, when I go there, I look and then I see it and I remember the name. They're $5.50, which is
wow.
Right now.
You know what
wait,
they are out here in the Pacific Northwest.
Wait a minute. So I'll smoke them until my throat is killing me because they're so cheap, and then I'll switch back to Marlboros. Guess how much Marlboros are, and then you could tell me how much more they are in the Northwest and Seattle.
Are they well, out here they're probably you can get them for $7.99.
Oh, that's what they are here. They're $7.50. So
roughly
I'll go with the cheap ones, and then I'll switch back to Marlboros for a couple days. But yeah, it's an expensive habit. It's a dirty habit.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the days you mentioned the jukebox, and I would always see these cigarette vending.
Sure.
We're really dating ourselves.
You'd pull the lever.
Yes, you'd pull it, pound on the machine.
They still have them here, Ty.
Oh, it's classic.
Ty, when was the last time you saw?
We got to get with the time.
When was the last time you saw a phone booth?
Oh, we actually have one. I live near one. I'm not kidding. God knows what goes on in that phone booth. What kind of calls go on in that phone booth? Disgusts me.
Just imagine, though. You just say, oh, we have one. Remember when phone booths were like mailboxes? I mean, they weren't on every corner, but, they were everywhere. Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Honestly, Nick, and this is terrible, the only phone booth I've seen around where I live is at this really rundown mini mart, and I have no doubt it's all drug activity.
Sure.
Seriously.
Kids
huddled around the phone.
Sure.
It's crazy.
I mean, kids in grade school right now or high school maybe don't even know what a phone booth is.
Don't even know what it is.
Yeah,
don't know
it's
what
crazy.
It is, probably. Yeah, but we're going to get with the times today, Nick. We're going to get with the times. You and I haven't been clubbing. Well, do we consider the 80s cruise last year club? I guess so.
That was like midlife crisis clubbing.
We really don't go clubbing that much, but today we are going to have on our show on Beats and Eats one of New York's rising stars in the DJ world, Tom Marcari, and he's played a ton of venues. He's on tour, and we're fortunate enough to have him on today's show. He's played great venues for Carmelo Anthony. We're NBA fans, Nick. He's played gigs for Carmelo Anthony. And somebody you are very familiar with, Nick, I know you're not a baseball fan, but he's played a gig for Derek Jeter.
I am a Yankees fan, and I am a Jeter fan, and Jeter's a fan of our area. When he was rehabbing, we have the minor league Yankees team here. So when he was rehabbing, he actually spent quite a lot of time here.
At your restaurant, or
no? My restaurant was already. I no longer owned it, but at a local restaurant here in the area, he spent a lot of time. And I never met Jeter, but I hear he is just such a hell of a nice guy. So I'm looking forward to talking and finding out firsthand what he's like.
Yeah, what is it like to DJ? That's what I want to know too. I think there's a great skill involved in that. It is a crazy life. Can you imagine going from club to club and the people you meet and the crowd you have to encounter and just all the craziness that goes along with it? You and I have always wanted to do a Studio 54 Beats and Eats episode. This isn't going to be that, but I can see this being somewhat similar because I know nothing, Nick. I know nothing about clubbing. Now, back in the day, I did my share.
You were.
As did you. I was a clubber, man.
You were quite the clubber.
I mean, I got dressed up, dressed to the nines to go clubbing. Not quite Travolta in Saturday Night Fever, but I did go out. Were you a clubber? Did you go out back in the day?
It's funny. I mean, I owned the club at that point, so yeah, I guess I was.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was 21, we opened, and by 22, yeah. I mean, usually the way it worked was, you would. So you'd be in the restaurant since the morning because you'd be preparing for Friday or Saturday night. You'd work a full shift. The shift would end, tip a couple back, have a couple drinks at the restaurant until probably 11 or 12 midnight, and then head out to say clubs, Ty. I wouldn't say I was going to type clubs, but I hung out. I liked like ultra lounges, where the music was chill. No. Everybody was dressed up, looked attractive, and so that's probably what I did. But yeah, I mean, there was a time, Ty, where, you're in the restaurant business, you're in your 20s. I drank 7 days a week. I mean, it was just the way it was.
Isn't that something?
Oh, I went to work the next day on your feet.
Absolutely. I was telling somebody I had a beer the other night, and I felt awful after having one beer, right?
Yeah.
And I can remember in college, Nick, drinking beer after beer after beer, and then getting up the next day and playing like in a 3-on-3 basketball tournament.
Oh, yeah, sweating it out. Playing well. Yes. You sweat it out, Crazy.
Now it takes me a week to recover if I go off on a bender. Not that I've done that in a while. Probably the last time I went on a bender was the 80s cruise.
I'll tell you, that was a great time, and it was just about this time last year. I mean, I had shared memories from, Facebook shares your memories. I had that from the weekend before we were leaving. It was like 2 days, 3 days before we were leaving. It was a party for my former boss who sold her restaurant, and we were leaving to go on the cruise like 3 days later, and that just came up this morning, so it would have been any time now.
Unbelievable. It has been a quick year, and Nick, so much has happened to us in the last year from the time we saw each other last, which was on the cruise. The last time I think I saw you, Nick, was on the Lido deck. Seriously.
That's true. That is true.
That event.
That is true. No one wanted to leave, remember?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I wish I was somewhere sunny right now on a boat sipping a rum punch or something. But wouldn't that be nice? But maybe we'll be doing that again soon. So with that said, Nick, let's give out our Twitter handles, and then let's go to DJ Tom Marcari.
Let's do it. I'm at CLNS_Nick.
And I'm at Coog88.
And it's still tricky, Ty.
It's at Beat, the letter, and Eats. And with that, Nick, let's go to DJ Tom Marcari.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Who said you could touch that dial? Nick and Ty will be right back with more Beats and Eats.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Hey, great to have you on the show. You're awake.
Yes, I am barely, but I'm awake.
So I have to ask
I'm just joking.
Did you work last night?
I did work last night, yes, definitely.
Okay, tell us about the experience. Nick and I were talking about our old club days. We're a little older here, so we're living vicariously through you, my friend.
All right, I love it. Well, last night wasn't a crazy club. It was actually a Columbia law party.
Oh, wow.
Which which actually they partied harder than any club kids would party because I guess they work hard, play hard. So it was a fun event. And it went fairly late, and it was
What were you spinning?
For them, they actually really just wanted a lot of hip hop music. A lot of hip hop and just.
Do you see that a lot now? Is it mostly hip hop?
Definitely the direction. I think that EDM dance music bubble kind of burst for the masses, and I think it's very hip hop oriented these days. And even commercial radio hits, just the full spectrum of hip hop.
As a DJ, how does that affect you? I mean, is that how you how spinning records? When the trends change, you could be resistant to it. Where do you fit in there?
For me, I'm an open format DJ, so what that means is basically I could play any genre, could cater to any crowd, any demographic. So for me, I enjoy playing multiple types of music in one night, kind of switching directions pretty fast, but still in a seamless way. So I think it's enjoyable for me. So I like when trends change. Definitely.
So Tom, is like house music out now?
I think there's still plenty of markets where it's always going to be a big thing in the festival circuit, but in clubs, at least in New York, which is always ahead of the curve, I think there's still venues that you can play house music, but I think it's definitely fallen off big time. And then you could be out in like Arkansas, and maybe some house music might be big if they're one big club in Arkansas because they're a little behind the curve. But,
sounds like Scranton, PA.
Yeah.
That's perfect, Tom.
Is that where you guys are located?
No, I'm in. It's really crazy because I'm located, or Ty is located in the Pacific Northwest in the Seattle Tacoma area, and I'm in Scranton, PA. So it's like polar opposite sides of the universe.
Hey, well, it's good. You get a little bit of everything: East Coast, West Coast.
No, you're absolutely right about that. I'm a huge old school guy. Love 80s and 90s music, and I've seen kind of a reemergence of that. Is that true, Tom?
I think the old school. I think it's cyclical. To be honest, I know as tacky as that sounds,
we just heard that recently.
Really applies. Yeah, I mean, it really applies to 80s. Even the 80s fashion is back these days, and 90s fashion.
Oh, God forbid.
Yeah, it's back in full effect. It's pretty crazy, especially out here and I live in Manhattan, so I see it firsthand. But I think music-wise, special events and things like that, you're always going to have those staples, the 80s music and the 90s classics. Even 70s, you can even take it back there. But I don't think that's really hit the club scene yet. I'm not really playing too much 80s in the actual clubs. It hasn't gone there just yet. But I think it's getting there. Back
Ty says,
Tom, go ahead, Nick.
Ty says, 80s, and I think we're both fans of the 80s. But I particularly like when you can overlap an 80s song with a beat. So in other words, your beat, you know exactly what I mean. You're into a beat, a beat, and you're feeling it on the dance floor, and then all of a sudden it breaks into who the hell knows, Heroes by David Bowie, but it's got that beat still in it. I enjoy that type of club music, I guess. What would that be considered? Like chill club, I guess?
We call that a mashup. So when you're mashing up like an 80s vocal maybe over like a hip hop beat, or even vice versa, we call that a mashup in the DJ world.
Ty, I gotta do it. I mean, you gotta be able to play with Freddie Mercury's voice.
Gotta play with Queen. Do you do any Queen?
Come on.
Oh yeah, there's actually a lot of produced, already made
tons
mashup.
Right? And why is that? Why is that I guess because that music has become, it's at a resurgence, but it's enduring. I think people in this country didn't realize how many hits they had, recognizable songs, and now, you're hearing it in clubs, which is fun to me because I love British rock. So to hear it interpreted in any different way is always fun.
Yeah, and I just think that music from that era also it was just better. I think it's social media music's just gotten watered down. Like the one hit wonder world, it's a whole different ball game musically these days. So
okay, you're singing
music's timeless.
You're singing to the choir here, my friend. I've said this for a long time because I get so – now, I'm going to get on my high horse here, Nick. Forgive me. I get so sick and tired of hearing, oh, the 80s sucked. Then why the hell are you sampling it?
Exactly.
No, my favorite of all time, and I equate this to so many different things in life, but, you know, once I got to – probably when I was in my late 20s, people that were in high school would say to me, you know, my little cousins or whatever would say, the Beatles suck. And I said, well, you know, you could maybe not like the Beatles, but to say they suck is the dumbest thing you're advertising your ignorance. And, I mean, you have to be open to all different types of music for sure.
Very, very true.
What's your favorite genre?
I grew up with hip-hop is really just something I listened to, and this goes back to, like, MC Hammer type pop hip-hop.
Yeah, sure.
I want to call it that, dance music. But really, R&B and hip-hop is really what I still enjoy. But I really do enjoy all types of music, especially stuff that I don't play in the club. There's, like, indie rock, and it's kind of like a new type of genre, also like a new disco, they call it. I really just enjoy kind of listening to that because I don't really play it out as much, so I'm not really burned out from it. So I do enjoy just listening to more laid back, chill, beach vibe type music.
Who are some of your favorite artists?
Oh wow! Well, going back to the R&B, Usher is actually one of my favorite artists of all time. Yeah,
interesting.
He's awesome. Yeah, I say that to people. Most people are like, "Wow, I wasn't expecting that."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love Usher. I still love Nirvana. I'm a grunge kid from back in the day.
Ugh.
Don't want to date myself here, but yeah, I definitely love Nirvana from that generation. Still to this day.
So what's the club scene like in New York now? I mean, back when Ty was going to New York, it was what, Ty Studio 54, and it was like it was.
Well, let me in, sure.
You were hanging out with
era.
Rubel. Ty, what did you have to do to Steve Rubel to get into Studio 54?
Please. How did I get behind the velvet rope? Never mind.
That's great.
I wish I was a fly on the wall in that era. That would have been incredible to see. Just it was a whole different world back then, I'm sure. I would love to have been a fly on the wall. See that?
Even the Limelight.
Nowadays,
you're a '90s guy, so the Limelight, right?
No, I've never even been to the Limelight. No, that was a little before my time as well. But I've heard stories, and to answer your question, these days the clubs are pretty much polar opposite of both of those examples, Studio 54 and Limelight. It's a whole different business model and different.
It's very corporatized.
Dance floor.
Say that again?
There's basically not even a dance floor anymore. The model with the clubs, it's bottle service.
Mingle. Yep, sit down and get Euro bottle service.
So, Tom, is there a lot of socializing that goes on? I mean, my idea of clubbing back in the day was everybody mingle, everybody. So you're talking about just bottle service. Nobody's really socializing, right?
Yeah, everybody has their little table that they're at with.
That sucks.
With their host, yeah, and then social
exclusive,
media adds a whole new element to it. I almost feel like we joke in the DJ community that we should have people check their phones before they walk in so they could actually enjoy the night music.
Yep. That is so true, and that's so true with, not to get off on a tangent here, we've already probably gotten off on too many, but that's so true even with so many other things in life, right? I mean, check your phone before dinner, please. Who even still has dinner with their family, you know?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's a crazy world, and you're contributing to it. You corrupt DJs. You're making us crazy, keeping us up late at night.
So Tom, why are you in high demand?
Why am I in high demand?
Go ahead.
I think I'm doing okay for myself.
Good.
I'm not Calvin Harris, but I'm not Joe Schmo in my mom's basement. So I'm somewhere in between there.
Shitload of DJs out there, Tom. So you're rising above them. How are you doing it?
Yeah, I've been very, very fortunate. It's definitely saturated with the technology in the DJ game. That's a whole nother tangent we could talk about. But no, I think I've just been doing this a very long time and just really focused on certain markets. And along the way, I've met the right people, and that backed with hopefully some talent and just being able to really entertain night after night and not mess up, really, for lack of better words. I've just been able to push through and do pretty well for myself. I have a long way to go, though. I still have a lot of goals, but I think I'm working, which is awesome.
Now I know you got to be tired. You worked last night, but Nick and I, huge NBA fans. We own a sports network together. Tell us about throwing a party for Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I don't want to put anybody on blast here. So when Carmelo was in the club, the clubs in New York close at 4 a.m. He pretty much had a private club to himself from 4 to 5 a.m. or maybe even later than that. So everybody else left, and if you're Carmelo, I guess you get to keep the club open as long as you want for your friends.
How long ago was this?
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
Yes. How long ago?
This is a couple years ago.
Okay.
So I don't know if
Another question.
I don't. Yeah.
Another question, real quick, Tom. On a game night.
Sure.
Was it on a game night? Was Carmelo partying on a?
No,
We're trying to break news here.
Well, it certainly wasn't the playoffs because they haven't been there.
Yeah, it wasn't on a game night, but the way they play these days, it could have been many other nights on game nights. I mean, I could say that because I'm a native New Yorker, so I think I have the right to say that.
You do.
The struggles. But yeah, that wasn't a game night. I'm pretty confident on that one, but who knows? But yeah, that's just how those big shots they get to keep the club open as long as they want.
Do that. That's you, Ty.
Yeah, I could swing that anytime here in Tacoma. Sure, Nick. We don't even have a friggin' club like that.
This is a lot of fun. Yeah.
Do you guys stay up until 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. out there at the bars and clubs?
It's 2 a.m. here.
Yeah, Seattle, 2 a.m. Yeah.
2 a.m. here.
Yeah, okay, that's nice. That's
about average.
I actually love DJing in markets where they close at 2 a.m.
Well, sure, you get to live.
Amazing.
Yeah, you get to either go home and go to bed, or go out and stay up for 3 days. It all depends.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all right, Tom. So you're on tour. What's next for you, buddy?
Well, I just got back from Las Vegas. I was DJing out there, a couple of special events at the Mandarin Oriental for Oracle, big tech firm, then out at the Las Vegas Speedway. That was an amazing experience they put together. Got to go in a Ferrari and take a couple of laps at the Las Vegas Speedway, which was really cool, part of the event.
Very cool.
Got back from that, DJ last night, and then this week I'm just doing some clubs out here in New York. And then I'm actually on a little vacation next week, much well-deserved vacation, going to Dominican Republic.
Very nice.
For a few days. And then I come back and I go up to the Mohegan Sun Casino up in Connecticut, Avalon, which is one of my favorite clubs on the East Coast. A really, really cool place and beautiful casino if you're into the casinos.
Yep.
So yeah, that's where I'll be in the next couple of months when we're traveling. It's a lot of events and clubs. I'm looking forward to getting into the summer season and the rooftops and the Hamptons and the outdoor spaces and warm weather.
Ty, what do you say? We let him go back to sleep because we woke him up.
Let's do that. Where can we find your work, my friend?
Everything is on tommacari.com. That's TOMMACARI.com, and you could find everything I'm up to. And where I'll be on there.
Cool. Great to have you on the show,
Awesome.
Tom.
Thanks,
Let's have
Tom.
you back. You need your own show.
You do, man. You got a great radio voice.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. This might be my sleepy, raspy voice, right? I appreciate it, you too. Thank you very much again for the time today.
You bet. Take care, Tom.
Bye-bye.
All right. Have a good weekend, guys. Take care.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
you too. DJ Tom Marcari, celebrity DJ, rising star in the DJ world, playing clubs all over the United States. Cool guy.
Right now, yeah, he is a cool guy. He reminds me of our friend Pat Jambra.
Ah, man, we got to get Pat back on the show at some. We actually had him on the show. I mentioned earlier we hadn't had a DJ, but no, we had Pat on the show, a couple of years ago, talking about the Philadelphia club scene.
It would be fun to get like a LA, a Philadelphia, and maybe a Boston and a New York DJ do a little series where they could talk about the difference in markets, because it's got to vary incredibly. So, like you just said, Tom just said about how he loves going to markets where, they're closed at 2 a.m. Well, I can understand why, but I'm certain there's a big difference in geographical markets. That would be an interesting show concept.
Oh, I love the idea. He said they were still playing house music in Arkansas.
Yeah, well, they are still here too. I wasn't joking when I said that.
So not a fan of house music. I never got it, Nick.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, I really like a nice beat, but I don't like all the lights and the just overproduced and just loud and obnoxious. So yeah, that's not me.
Yeah, that's not me either. I like a guy who has an appreciation for all genres, and Tom certainly does. And he loves the 80s too. So I like him.
He's a man of your he can hang out with you.
Anytime. So, Nick, before we go, we got to get him in. We're talking about Blue Apron. Nick, it's all I'm eating.
Yeah, Ty, I mean, you just said you got your delivery today already. I'm still waiting on mine.
Yeah, no, it's so great. It comes right to the door. I can't wait to get out of the box and start to make it. In fact, it's so funny. We did a podcast, Nick, not too long ago where actually, no, we didn't do a podcast, or maybe we did. All I know is I was cooking while we were doing something, and my fire alarm went off because I was cooking Blue Apron. This had to do with
that was yes, that was hilarious.
I was making
hilarious. That was great.
Yeah,
that was great.
And by the way,
and the thing is, you mentioned the ground beef being, when they bring the hamburgers, you absolutely love the hamburgers, and they are the number one fresh ingredient recipe delivery service in the country, Ty. So, and now you're seeing them everywhere. I don't want to mention any others, but you are seeing them pop up everywhere, and Blue Apron absolutely dominates the market. I don't know if they originated it, but they most certainly have perfected it. And now they're making incredible home cooking accessible to everybody.
What I love about it, Nick, is it's introducing me to vegetables I've never had before, meals I've never had before,
heard of
ingredients. Before. Right. I had a spicy chili the other night from Morocco, chicken chili.
Mm-hmm.
It smelled kind of like a curry with ingredients I had never cooked before. It was fantastic. Absolutely incredible.
Having been in the restaurant business for as long as I have been very blessed to be able to cook with many exotic and different ingredients. And Blue Apron has yet still sent me items that I've never worked with. So even as a chef, I've enjoyed it. And our listeners, Ty, they can enjoy it too, because they are a listener of Beats and Eats, CLNS Radio, and we really appreciate your patronage and supporting us. We're going to give you 3 free meals and free shipping. So there's no risk involved at all to try Blue Apron. Like I said, you could see them everywhere right now in advertisements. And if you've been even tempted to try it, please support our show and our efforts here by using our promo code at www.blueapron.com/beatsанdeats. Again, 3 free meals, free shipping. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
And with that, Nick, how about we close the lounge?
I'm ready, Ty. I am ready. It's Friday, TGIF. By the time I release this, it'll probably be next Friday. So it'll be still relevant. Anyway, guys, we're out of here.
The virtual lounge is now closed. You can stay, you just can't stay here. For Beats and Eats, I'm your bartender, Scott Mitchell. Until next week, hey, stay cool.